All right, so want to do a quick post lift video, talk about a topic that I think a lot of people are usually curious about. Hopefully the echo's not too bad. I'm in like a different setting in our gigantic apartment building. This is like a new place I just discovered that no one seems to use, so I might try to come here more for videos, but in the future I'll bring my microphone. I don't have it right now because I just finished working out. Anyway, the topic is work-life balance, if you couldn't tell from the title of the video. And so basically, one thing I see a lot is people always ask, how do I achieve work-life balance? And I have mixed views on this topic. A part of me thinks there's no real such thing as work-life balance. And when I say that, what I'm referring to is there's no such thing as work-life balance in the, I guess, ideal way that most people, I personally believe, think about it. When I hear people talk about work-life balance, what I hear people say is, how do I work as little as possible while getting massive results without having to put any effort in? And I could be wrong, that perhaps isn't what people mean, but when they talk about it, that's how I interpret it. And if that is the case, if that's what you're chasing, work-life balance does not exist. I'm a massive believer, and I've done other videos about this as well. If you look up, I think I've done like 2 videos talking about the law of equivalent exchange. Basically, my personal belief is that in order to get something out of life, you need to put something in, and it needs to be relatively equal. Now, it might not be equal by your standards, but in the general idea of effort in versus output, it needs to be fairly equal. So, for example, you want to go to the gym, you want to build muscle, you got to put in effort. You got to lift a certain amount of weight. You have to lift heavier over time, progressive overload. You need to eat a certain amount of calories if you want to gain weight, if you want to gain muscle. It's effort in equals a certain amount of output being the muscle. Now, it might not be equal by like a general, we'll call it quantitative standard. Like I could go to the gym and work out 6 times a week and lift, I don't know, 10 sets for every single muscle every single day. I'm just making up stuff. And some other dude can go in and do a workout 3 times a week and lift 3 sets for every single muscle group. He might grow faster than me. So it's not effort in equals output in like a consistent sense. Like it's not gonna be the same for everybody, but it is gonna be, for you, it's gonna be a certain consistent formula. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's like money, for example. For some people making money, they can do stupid stuff online and that equals money. Stupid stuff in equals money out. You might not want to do stupid stuff, so you might go the hard path. You might do things more ethically, for example. You might try to get an education. You might not try to lower yourself to have a low IQ. And you doing that won't lead to you making money as quickly, but I think in the grand scheme of the universe, it all balances itself out because the things they have to sacrifice outside of looking like a clown to make money are things you will not have to sacrifice. Does that make sense? It's like OnlyFans, for example. I don't want to pick on like girls or OnlyFans girls in particular, but when you see OnlyFans girls, a lot of them, they sell their body to make money quickly, and they do that. And it works for many of them. And the issue is that they haven't learned the skill of making money. They haven't learned the skill of investing, the skill of slow progress, the skill of slow gains. And because they're sacrificing their reputation and they're sacrificing their image for very short-term, very quick gains, money in this example, in the long term, it doesn't quite work out because if you're like doing OnlyFans, in general, people like OnlyFans because they're usually younger girls. It's kind of creepy, it's kind of weird, but that's the reality of the world. And obviously once they reach a certain age, that ability to make money no longer will work. And the downside is because they haven't learned the skill of making money in other categories or other areas, they've blocked themselves off to making more money in the future. So if they don't save their money up front with the OnlyFans tactic, so to speak, they're gonna screw themselves over in the long run. Meanwhile, you, taking the slow path, you are learning the skills of failure. You're learning the skills of making money, losing money, investing money, all that good stuff. And in the grand scheme of things, maybe you won't get money until your like 40s or late 30s or late 20s or whatever, but you will have built up a good foundation that'll last in the long term. So that's my idea of like equivalent exchange. And I think you need to have that mindset for work-life balance. I think people sometimes want as little work as possible with a lot of gains, and it doesn't quite work that way, in my opinion. I do think that you don't have to work insanely hard. I do think there's like a law of diminishing returns that is in effect where some people think I need to work like 12 hours a day. That is not efficient, and that to me it's not a good formula for input versus output. Like if you're trying to input just hours in a day and you hope to get like an equal amount of output, that's not how the math's gonna work out. You're gonna put in way more effort and you're not gonna get the returns you think you will get. So that's my 2 cents. Now, how do you achieve work-life balance? The reason why I wanted to make this video is because without me sounding arrogant, I think I've achieved work-life balance. Rarely am I super stressed out from work. I do a lot throughout the day, but I don't have to do a lot. And I think about that a lot where I'm thinking, like, I often say to myself, I can have a very simple, very easy life. And my life isn't bad. I'm not, like I said, I'm not super stressed out. I choose to do the things that I do. But I see some people and they're like, dude, I struggle to like get in shape, or I struggle to find like a girlfriend, or I struggle to stay in relationships. And they have all these things that they struggle to do, but then I look at their lives and it's like, how do you struggle so much with all these things? You're not doing that much. Like your time is not being invested wisely in any particular category. So I'm curious to know how you struggle to be successful in any of these areas. Whereas, again, not trying to be arrogant, I don't have that issue. My health is pretty on point. I'm gaining muscle when I want to gain muscle. I lose body fat when I want to lose body fat. I just did a check-in this morning for my, we have like the scale in our apartment, and it checks your like, it's like an estimate, but it estimates your like body fat. You like walk on it barefoot and it kind of uses your feet and scans your entire body. A year or so ago, I was like 20% body fat. The goal, because I was bulking, the goal was, it was a bad bulk, don't get me wrong, but I was bulking. And the goal for the past like year or so was to get down to, my goal right now is 11% body fat. This morning I was at 14.2% body fat. So it's going well. It's going well. My goal is to get to 11-ish% by like April. So I think I'm on track right now. Finances, Productivity Accelerator is growing. Productivity Accelerator is getting more traction. It's getting more attention. It's getting clients. It's getting views. I'm getting more calls, not always good calls, not always people who are gonna take it seriously, but it doesn't matter. The metric that I'm searching for is more attention, because more attention, more traffic equals more potential clients. That's been working out. In my social life, I've been getting more opportunities. More people have been reaching out to ask me to help with different things. Some stuff I'm not gonna say yet because it hasn't been finalized, but I'll talk about it maybe in the future, in a future video, if it does get finalized. But that's been working out well. Relationship, fantastic. I've been connecting more with some of my old friends, like from college, been trying to hang out with them more, been connecting well with my wife. We've been doing more social activities, trying to go to more date nights. We literally just did like a painting date night last night. It was awesome. Again, I don't feel stressed. I don't feel overwhelmed. Just wrote a book, like a whole like 150 something page book. Just finished that like a week ago. Drawing a comic book. Like I'm doing a lot of things and I don't feel stressed. I don't feel overwhelmed. And I feel like I have that work-life balance. And the reason why, and this is gonna sound super simple, the reason why I think I can pull all this stuff off, and the reason why I don't think most people can pull it off, is because I just schedule my day. It sounds so simple, it sounds so basic, but it's true. The thing that separates me from a lot of people is not that I have more time. I have 24 hours, you have 24 hours, your peers have 24 hours, Dwayne Johnson has 24 hours, Jeff Bezos has 24 hours, but that's not the issue. Like the amount of time that you have throughout the day is not your issue. The issue, sorry, my shoulders get like tired. I just did like a workout. The issue that you have is that you're not using your time effectively because you're not measuring your time. And whenever we do, for like Productivity Accelerator, this is like the main thing I have all my clients do. They come in and I always say to them, like your homework for the very next session is just script, journal what you do in an entire day. Ideally throughout the entire week, you journal what you do. Because your day-to-day is probably not gonna be the same. Like your Monday's not gonna look like your Tuesday's not gonna look like your Thursday's not gonna look like your Sundays or Saturdays, I assume. If it does, that's perfectly fine, but it won't, most likely. Journal it. Show me what you're doing. And most people, this is where they fall off, because most people, I'm gonna be completely honest, they're a bit lazy. They don't want to do the work of just tracking what they do. And I wanna say, I can't say for sure, I think a part of this is because a lot of people understand that they're doing the wrong things. And when they look at their day and they realize how disorganized they are or how much they're not doing, it frightens them. It's kind of like when you don't have a lot of money and you don't want to check your bank account. You don't want to check it because you know deep down that it's not a lot of money and you know that you've been spending on a lot of bullshit, but you don't want to look at it because once you look at it, it becomes real. But if you want to get out of that financial situation, you have to look at it. It's the only way to do it. Like, you're not going to just manifest like $1 million overnight. Some people, they might win a lottery. Some people might pull off some shenanigans. In the grand scheme of things, if you want to be consistent, like with your finances in this example, but also with your time, you have to review where your daily habits are, because that'll help you identify what you're doing wrong. And once you identify what you're doing wrong, you can fix it and start doing the right thing instead of the wrong thing. And so I tell people, just show me what you do throughout the day, or at least throughout the day, but ideally throughout the week. Write it out, journal it, and then send that to me ahead of time. And then we can talk about it during the next call. Most people, this is where they fall off. Most people don't like to do that, like I said. But if you do that, I guarantee you'll be ahead of like 99% of people, because most people won't do this. They won't see the gaps in how they schedule their day. And I'll tell you how I schedule my day. I'm not saying it's perfect. A lot of times it's not perfect. Literally today, I woke up a little bit late. I was a bit tired because I stayed up last night to draw my comic, and I was in a good zone. So I went to bed a little bit late, went to bed at like 2 a.m., woke up this morning at like 10. Procrastinated a little bit, talked to my wife a little bit, had like a late breakfast, watched a little bit of TV, but got to the gym. Doesn't matter. There's ways around this too, because you will fall off. That's one of the lessons I share with people. You will fall off, and there's things you can do when you fall off. But the overall point that I want to make is that in a general day, my routine is I wake up early-ish, I go to the gym. Once I come from the gym, that checks off my fitness box. There's 3 boxes. There's health, wealth, and relationships. The health box, checked off. Next thing I do, I focus on like the top 1 to 3 things that I want to get done. The top 1 to 3 things that I've sat there and I've thought about and I've determined are the things that are going to lead to the most growth in whatever my overall goal is for wealth or business, whatever it is. I do that. I usually do that for about 1 to 6 hours. 1 to 6 hours, but it can be 1 to 3 hours, 1 to 4 hours. It depends on the day. It depends on my mood, depends on how I'm feeling, depends on how big the task is. If I get done like that main task and it's to me like the most important task by far, and if I just do that, then the entire day is good, and that takes me like an hour, then I just work for an hour. That's health checked off, that's wealth checked off, relationships. I try to schedule time now to go out with people. I try to schedule time to hang out with my wife. I try to schedule time to have movie night. We do movie night a lot, but I don't feel super guilty a lot of times doing it, because it comes at the end of the day a lot of times, or it comes later in the day after I've done the main things first. And you'll find that once you do those 3 things, those things don't take that much time. Like I already told you, working out takes like an hour. So let's just say you sleep 8 hours a day. You start the day with 16 hours. 24-hour day, you slept for 18 hours, now you got 16 hours left. Working out takes 1 hour, now you got 15 hours left. You work for let's say 5 hours, make the math a little bit easier. You got 10 hours left. What left? You're gonna hang out with your loved ones, you're gonna talk on the phone, do whatever you wanna do. Let's just say it takes you 3 hours to do all that stuff. Let's just say 5 hours, let's give you 5 hours. You wanna socialize hardcore, you wanna party hardcore, you wanna game with your boys, whatever, that takes you 5 hours total throughout the day. You still got 5 hours left to do a lot of stuff. In those 5 hours, you could try to learn a new language, like I did. You could read, like I do. You can learn a new skill, like I have. Draw, like I do. And I'm not making me like the epitome or the peak of what work-life balance looks like. The point that I'm making is that you can get work-life balance. You just need to structure yourself a lot better. And that's where most people go wrong. Most people just don't want to structure themselves. Most people think to themselves, oh, if I start structuring myself, it stifles my life. And it's like, it's the opposite. It frees up your life because you're wasting time right now. I've had so many clients where I've sat there, and these are the people that do show me their journal. And I look at the journal and I'm like, bro, you told me that you don't have a lot of time to do A, B, and C. Meanwhile, I'm looking at your calendar and there's tons of free time right there. And they're like, well, what do you see the free time? I was like, well, bro, you didn't even fill in like these 3 hours. So as far as I'm concerned, you did nothing. So what did you do? Oh, well, I was scrolling through social media. I think I was like watching TV. You don't remember what you even did because you probably were so zoned out doing stuff that wasn't important that it doesn't even like resonate with you. It didn't even stick in your mind. So you're probably like watching Netflix while half like scrolling on your social media, while half like texting people about stuff that wasn't important, while half doing like gambling apps. Does that make sense? Once you identify that alone, that's like an additional 2 or 3 hours that you can be doing to do something else that's more important, whether that's business, whether that's spending time with your loved ones, whether that's getting in better shape, whether that's learning new skills, whatever it is. I just freed up 3 hours of your time right then and there. You keep looking at their journal. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I was having a phone call. What was the phone call about? Oh, someone was pitching me this idea. Does the idea they're pitching you help you achieve your goals? I don't know. Well, if you don't know, then don't take the call. Like, why are you taking calls for ideas that you can't almost guarantee are helping you with your goals? It's a big thing people do a lot. I bring it up a lot because I've seen a lot of people where someone calls me and says, hey, I got this opportunity for you, and they take it. And it's like, bro, most people don't offer you opportunities. Most people offer you liabilities. Because most people, when they offer you something, they're offering you something that benefits them. And this is just me ranting a little bit, but this is my 2 cents. At least in America, we've become so selfish and we've become so concerned about making money that we no longer have this like win-win mentality of I do something for you because I think it's beneficial for the both of us. People's mindset is now, I do something for you that isn't really me doing something for you. It's me like framing it that way, but in reality, you're doing something for me and you just haven't realized it yet. Sad, but that's the reality of how I think America kind of is. I think we've become too capitalistic in a sense, and everyone's just trying to make money. I do think that there's some good reason behind it. I do think that the government and society and a lot of like weird stuff that's been put in place are screwing over a lot of people. So it makes people more in like this conservative or hyper aggressive, I need to make money mindset. And it encourages bad behavior. I'm not saying it's really people's fault. I'm just saying what I think is going on. I'm saying like how things are going down in my personal opinion. I don't make this too much into like a rant video about the government and like economy and all that stuff, but hopefully you get the point that I'm making. You're wasting time though on stuff that does not matter, that does not benefit you. And the reason why you waste time on those things is because you don't know where your time is best being used. And you don't know where your time is best being used because you haven't thought about it. That's really what it comes down to. You have 24 hours in a day and you don't think about where your time is best served. You don't think about where your time is best being utilized. And the only way to do it, the only way to know where your time is best being utilized, the only way to get that work-life balance that you want so desperately, that we all want work-life balance, is you gotta plan it out. You gotta get a planner. You gotta journal your time, figure out where your time's going, eliminate the activities or the tasks that do not matter, focus on the very few that do matter, and just do those things consistently. And that's it. If you're like some people like I'm one of those people who I think I need to work like all day. I need to be doing something. Work has an asterisk because to me, like drawing is work. Talking on the phone is work. Trying to network is work. Reading is work. Like going to the gym is work. They're not work for other people, but I qualify them as work because they require some mental effort. And I think that's good. I like the mental effort, don't get me wrong. I like to work all day. Some people don't want to work that hard all day. There's plenty of people who are like, hey, I just want to wake up. I want to do my few tasks, make a little bit of money, and I want to like chill for the entire day. Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your life. You do what you want. If it makes you happy, do it. I'm a massive fan of doing things in life that makes you happy as long as it doesn't step on the toes of other people, right? As long as you're doing stuff that does not negatively impact other people, do it. I see no issue in that. I'm not one of those people who's like, you need to be grinding all day. You need to be like hardcore, working all day. You need to be making millions of bucks and becoming a billionaire. I don't think you need to do that. I don't think it's healthy for a lot of people. I don't think it benefits a lot of people. I think for a lot of people, you might actually be worse off going down that route. My personal take. I think society brainwashed people into thinking that that's the path that they need to take. And I think my personal take, again, not trying to rant about society, but my 2 cents. When you think about what that does and what the benefits are for the individual versus for society, the way I see it is it benefits society a lot. It benefits the individual very little in the grand scheme of things. So I don't think that's the best path to take. Do what makes you happy, do what makes sense for you, understand what your goals are, work toward those goals, think long-term about if those goals are actually worthwhile. Some people have goals that aren't their goals. Some people have goals that are their parents' goals, or their friends' goals, or society's goals, or their teachers' goals. And they think that those goals will make them happy because they've been brainwashed or manipulated into thinking that. And then once they get close to the goal, or as they pursue the goal, they feel like lost and empty. And the reason why they feel lost and empty is because they're chasing a goal that was never really theirs to begin with. It was someone else's goal that was pushed onto them, and they haven't thought about it yet. And people like me try to say, think it through, think carefully, make sure this makes sense. But the downside is that in society, a lot of people push against people like me, and they say, don't listen to that guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Just keep doing what we want you to do because that's what makes us better. Not you, but it makes us better. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people nowadays, they're framing things as if it's beneficial for you when it's beneficial for them. Be wary of that. But yeah, so just to sum up the video, if you're someone who's trying to get like work-life balance, that's the way to do it. I think that's the only way to do it. Understand what you want. Journal your day to figure out where your time is currently going. Once you've done that, reorganize and restructure your day so that way the things you want to do, you're able to do, and the things you need to do, you're able to do, because you can't always do what you want to do all day. Sometimes you have to go to work, right? Sometimes work's not pleasant, but you need to do it because you need to make money, because that's the way the world works. You got to get it done. But you can schedule time in to work as efficiently and as quickly as possible to get the results you need without burning yourself out or without struggling too much. And then once you do that, you have all the time left to do the other stuff you want to do in life. And at that point, I think you'll get work-life balance. Does that make sense? Now, if you're trying to get to that point much faster, that point of work-life balance, I have a company called Productivity Accelerator. This is what we do. We help you get more done without wasting tons of time, tons of energy, tons of effort on getting from point A to point B. If you're interested, I give away a free month of coaching, a free month. And the idea behind this is that by the time you join our program, by the time you do the things that we tell you to do, for a full month, you will have already begun to achieve your goals. You will have made massive progress. I mentioned earlier, a lot of people nowadays are trying to lead with they pretend like it's a giving hand, but it's them taking from you while tricking you into believing that they're giving you something. We don't do that. We give you everything you need for free on the front end. We want to make sure that you get value out of it. You could, in theory, take a whole month of coaching, get all the benefits out of it, achieve your goal, and say, you know what, I don't feel like paying anymore because I already got what I want. You could do it. I don't recommend it because goals are a consistent process. You're probably not going to achieve your goal in a month. And even if you do, without the accountability, without the tactics, and without the consistency, you're going to probably lose those goals. You're going to fall back into old patterns and old habits. I don't recommend it, but I'm saying you could do it and it'd be okay. That's part of our process. That's part of the deal that we offer you. But if you're interested, it's a free month. You get a lot out of it up front. We give you bonuses, we give you courses, we give you tons of guides to make sure that you have everything you need to achieve your goals. And once you achieve your goals, we hope you'll stick around with us in the long term. But yeah, if you're interested, click the link below depending on the platform you're watching this on. If you're watching this on YouTube, there should be a link down in the description. If you're watching this on Instagram or something like that, just type me the words productivity and I'll send you a link to sign up for coaching. And if you're on a different platform, if this video somehow made its way to a random platform due to AI or due to some hackers or due to the government, I don't know, some weird magical force and it's on some platform I'm not familiar with, just go to any browser and type in productivityaccelerator.org and you'll find us. And it's all right there. But hope to hear from you soon. Hope you want to get work-life balance and kill it in 2026. Talk to you later. Peace.